Hola, hola, hola a todos. Bienvenidos. Welcome back to my channel. Soy Señorita Spanish, and we make CSEC Spanish preparation videos here on our channel to help you to get prepared and geared up, ready to ace those Spanish exams. Are we ready to dive in? Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. It is a fairly new channel, so I do appreciate the support that has already been shown to my first video. That's right, I already posted a video on home and family, so please ensure that you check that out before coming back to this video. Today, we're going to be tackling questions from the category School and Career. Vámonos. The first question reads, ¿Qué opinas de tu escuela? ¿Qué opinas is just a fancy way of asking what is your opinion. You could also be asked, ¿Cuál es tu opinión? Or ¿Qué piensas? Which is what do you think? Or ¿Qué crees? Which is what do you believe? All of these are ways to solicit your opinion about a certain idea. When we are doing this category, it's very important for us to foresee the question that can be asked. Once it's school and career, you know they're going to ask you the school that you attend, the location of your school, what you think about school, the subjects you study, what subjects you like or dislike, descriptions of your favorite teacher, just to name a few, not to mention what you actually do at school, or how you spend your free time, what you'd like to become in the future. Those are solid, regularly repeated questions, and we have to ensure that we are ready to answer them. With no further ado, let's jump into the first question. So to respond to this question, we can begin in a variety of ways. I'm going to start by saying, en mi opinión, mi escuela es muy grande, moderna, espaciosa y tiene muchas instalaciones. Por ejemplo, los aulas, los laboratorios, las canchas y la cafetería. We could have also responding to this question by beginning with yo pienso que, which is I think that, or yo creo que, which is I believe that. Entonces, yo pienso que mi escuela es muy grande, or yo creo que mi escuela es muy moderna. So we could have responded by beginning with any of these starter phrases because they're all used to state your opinion. We could have also said a mi ver. A mi ver. So all three of these, with the addition of en mi opinion, are opinion starters. I just want to repeat what I had said in my first video, that for all of our responses, we want to ensure that we give at least 3 reasons, 3 adjectives, 3 things to support our stance and our response, because that will enable us to have a wider vocabulary. Número 2. Just to backtrack a little bit, in my opinion, my school is very big, modern, spacious, and it has a lot of facilities. For example, the classrooms, the labs, we could even add here los laboratorios de ciencias, the science labs, the courts, and the cafeteria. And those are just to name a few. I'm going to go ahead and add my accents before I continue. Opinión, cafetería. Bueno, let's move on to number 2. ¿Qué asignaturas prefieres más o menos y por qué? What subjects do you prefer more or less and why? So we have to prepare for both, whether to say the subject that we prefer the most or the least. Let's respond to both of them. Prefiero más el español porque es muy divertido, útil, fácil y, well, interesante para aprender. I prefer Spanish more because it is very fun, useful, easy, and interesting to learn. On the other hand, let's say a negative response, the subject that we prefer the least. We could have also said me gusta más el español instead of prefiero. Similarly, to respond to the menos counterpart, we can say prefiero menos. I prefer this subject the least, or we could say no me gusta. Or me gusta menos. But I'm going to stick to prefiero for my answer here. Now that we know that we have options. Prefiero menos los principios de negocios porque no me gustan los números. Es difícil y el profesor no enseña bien. Let's unpack this one. I prefer principles of business the least because I don't like numbers. It's difficult and the teacher does not teach very well. Bueno, número 3. ¿Estudias otro idioma además del español? ¿Cuáles o cuáles son? Let's say, for instance, sí, yo estudio el francés también porque me gustan los idiomas latinos y después de mis estudios me gustaría viajar y vivir en Francia. So yes, I study French as well because I like the Latin languages. And after my studies, I would like to travel and live in France. On the other hand, we can say no. No, no estudio otro idioma. You have to remember that idioma is a masculine word, although it ends in an A. Porque prefiero centrarme en un idioma a la vez. So no, I don't study another language because I prefer to focus on one language at a time. We could have also said instead of prefiero, we can say me gustaría, of course. We could also say en mi opinión es mejor. Es mejor, it's better to focus on one subject at a time, on one language at a time. Number 4. ¿Qué haces durante el recreo? Which is asking us, what do you do during the break? During break time at school or lunchtime? Could have also been asked, ¿qué haces durante el almuerzo? Which is lunchtime. Or el recreo de almuerzo. Durante el recreo, yo estudio, hablo con mis amigos y almuerzo. Number 5. Cuando no recibes buenas notas, ¿qué haces para mejorarlas? When you don't receive good grades, what do you do in order to improve them? Of course, we're going to give 3 reasons. Pues, which is well, normalmente, para mejorar mis buenas notas. Yo estudio más. Hablo con mi profesor y miro videos por YouTube para practicar más. So, well, normally, in order to improve my bad grades, okay, this should have been bad grades, mis malas notas, I study more, I speak with my teacher, and I watch videos on YouTube in order to practice more. Number 6. ¿Cuántos estudiantes hay en tu clase de español? Very basic question. En mi clase de español hay 30 personas o 30 estudiantes. Let's say that instead. 7. ¿Usas la computadora en la escuela? ¿Para qué? So this question is asking, do you use the computer at school and for what? Please note that you can also be asked, do they use the computer at school, or is the computer at school used and for what reason? So we have to listen carefully to the subject in which the question is being asked. But luckily this time around, they're asking about you. So we could respond by saying, sí, yo uso la computadora para hacer mis deberes, to do my homework, y mis tareas, my tasks, or y mis proyectos. So I use a computer in order to do my homework and my projects. Para averiguar información, which is to find out information, to research information, y para estudiar. ¿Por qué es importante estudiar idiomas extranjeros? Bueno, es importante estudiar idiomas extranjeros para comunicarse con personas a través del mundo, para ser más comercializable y para viajar, vivir y trabajar en otros países con facilidad. All right, so a lot was said here. Let us unpack it. I responded by saying it is important to study foreign languages in order to communicate with persons across the world, to be more marketable, and in order to travel, live, and work in other countries with ease. All right, we've completed an entire section. Let's move on to another section. You can pause the video right here in case you want to take a screenshot or you're not finished making your notes. Vamos a continuar. Number 1, ¿qué te gusta más de tu escuela? A very similar question to what was asked in the first section, because what they had asked is what we think about our school, not necessarily what we like the most. So we'll respond to it. We could say, me gusta más que. This is a subjunctive phrase. So the next verb that we're going to use is going to be in the subjunctive form. And in this case, it is the present subjunctive. So I want to say, I like that my school has good teachers. So me gusta más que mi escuela tenga buenos profesores. Number 2, ¿qué es lo que te gusta más o menos de tu clase de español? En mi opinión, me gusta más que mi clase de español sea pequeña It's a similar response to the response we just gave because it is the same formation, the same type of subjunctive question. On the other hand, por otro lado, no, well, let's say, me gusta menos que mi clase de español sea ruidosa a veces. Let's unpack these responses. So the first one, I said, in my opinion, I like the most that my Spanish class is small. On the other hand, I like least that my Spanish class is noisy sometimes. Número 3. ¿Cuántas horas pasas estudiando los fines de semana? How many hours do you spend studying on the weekends? Okay, vamos entonces. Pues, which is well, a great first word to say. Normalmente, yo paso al menos, at least, 5 horas estudiando los fines de semana, porque me gustaría aprobar mis exámenes. So, well, normally I spend at least 5 hours studying on the weekends because I would like to pass my exams. And to pass your exams, you really have to put in that work. Then we will reap the rewards afterwards. Number 4. ¿Qué estudiaste el fin de la semana pasada? So we have here the present tense. Yep. What did you study last weekend? El fin de la semana pasada. Bueno, pues, and I'm doing this very often because I want us to adopt it. Pues, el fin de semana pasada, yo estudié las matemáticas, la geografía y también la historia. Or we could have broken it down into 2 days. El sábado pasado, yo estudié el español y la biología. Pero el domingo pasado, estudié las matemáticas y el inglés. Bueno, let's unpack. Well, last weekend I studied math, geography, and also history. But you could have also broken it down into the 2 days because the weekend encompasses 2 days. So we could have said on Saturday, which in this case we said last Saturday I studied Spanish and biology, but last Sunday I studied math and English, which is a great way to respond as well because it gives you more to say. Just want to say right here, it's very, very important for us to know our subjects because you might be asked what subjects you study, what's your favorite, and in this case, what did you study? So we have to know all of the subjects. Very, very important. We finished putting in my accents here, and let's go on to number 5. ¿A qué hora es el recreo en tu escuela? It's very important for us to identify the question word. It didn't ask in this case what you do during your break, but it's asking you at what time. What time is your break? And I just want to point this out. When we're saying at what hour an activity happens, we cannot say son las. Son las is only used when you're telling the current time. So in this case, we'd have to say el recreo es a las 11 de la mañana todos los días. So once we're stating at what time, it would be a and not son las. Number 6. ¿Traes almuerzo o lo compras en la escuela? ¿Por qué? Do you bring lunch or do you buy it at school, and why? So here we have two verbs, traer, which means to bring something towards the speaker, and we also have the verb comprar. Traer is a go-go verb, and it is also a stem changing verb. Traer. So the yo form would be yo traigo. So we had the A change into I right here, and then the yo form introduces a G. So it's called a go-go verb, or some persons might refer to it as a yo-go verb because it's easy to remember that it only occurs in the yo form. So we can respond both ways. Sí, yo traigo almuerzo cada día. And it asks us why. Porque es más saludable, it's more healthy, or it's healthier, más fácil, y yo puedo elegir lo que como. And I can choose what I eat. Bueno, on the other hand, we can say no. We don't bring lunch. No, no traigo almuerzo. Pero lo compro en la escuela porque no tengo mucho tiempo libre para prepararlo. Es más fácil y más conveniente. All right, let us unpack this one right here. And I'm just gonna move traer, my little traer, over to the corner. So, yes, I bring lunch each day because it is healthier, it is easier, and I can choose, this is the verb to choose, elegir, what I eat. The other response says, no, I don't bring lunch, but I buy it at school because I don't have much free time to prepare it. It's easier and it's more convenient. So these are great responses. Please take them down. Feel free to use them. I'm here to help. Number 7. ¿Cuál asignatura es la más difícil para ti? ¿Y por qué es difícil? So here we go back to asignatura. What subject is the most difficult for you, and why is it difficult? La historia es la más difícil para mí. Or we could say, pues, para mí. Or, pues, en mi opinión. La historia es la más difícil porque hay muchos datos para recordar. Consiste en demasiada lectura y no me gusta escribir o leer. All right, let's unpack this. Well, for me, history is the hardest or the most difficult because there are many dates to remember. It consists of too much reading, and I don't like to write or read. The final question in this section is, describe a tu profesor favorito. Once again, you will receive a description question. So you have to prepare to either describe your favorite teacher, to describe your principal, to describe your classroom, to describe your school. You will have a description question. Or you could be given a question where you have to describe your typical school day. So let's prepare for all of those options. Describe a tu profesor o tu profesora favorita. Of course, if you are describing a male teacher, you have to ensure that you use male adjectives. Or for the female teacher, you use female adjectives. Mi profesora, favorita se llama señora Hernández. Ella enseña la literatura y es muy simpática, agradable, paciente y enseña muy bien. Bueno, eso es. So I stated the name of the teacher. I stated the subject that the teacher teaches, which is optional, honestly. And I gave at least 3 adjectives to describe the teacher. We could have gone on to say, ella tiene, and give her physical attributes. Ella tiene el pelo marrón y los ojos cafés. Ella es alta y muy hermosa. So we gave her characteristics as well as her physical attributes. Let's move on to our final section. Once again, please go ahead and take a screenshot, pause the video before we continue. Bueno, number 1. ¿Cuáles son tus asignaturas favoritas en el colegio? Here is the $1,000,000 question. What are your favorite subjects at school? Mis asignaturas favoritas son. We could have also said mis materias favoritas son. Materia is a synonym for asignatura, so it would be great if we use a synonym to show them that our vocabulary is well off. Mis asignaturas or materias favoritas son, and let's list at least 3. El español, claro que sí. El inglés y la biología. Number 2. ¿Cuáles son tus actividades extracurriculares? Yes, I forgot to mention. This is also a popularly asked question in school and career. You have to be prepared to state the clubs that you participate in after school. So, yo participo en la natación. Yo juego al baloncesto y yo soy miembro del club de fotografía. I intentionally worded it in different ways because I want to teach us the different constructs. So we can say I participate in and put sports such as la natación or el ciclismo, cycling, or el atletismo, track and field. On the other hand, if we're going to state that we play any sports, we can go ahead and use the verb jugar, yo juego al, followed by the sport. Or we can say I am a member of such and such a club. I am a member of would be yo soy miembro de. And of course, we're saying the club. So de and el becomes del. Yo soy miembro del club de fotografía. So this response is saying I participate in swimming, I play basketball, and I am a member of photography club. Number 3. ¿Te gusta el uniforme de tu escuela? ¿Por qué? Pues, no me gusta. Porque es. No me gusta porque es muy anticuado. It is very outdated or old-fashioned. Caloroso, hot. Y también ancho, which is wide. It doesn't fit you well, it's big. Pues no me gusta el uniforme porque es muy anticuado, caloroso y también ancho. Number 4. ¿Cuáles son tus planes para el futuro? Which is basically asking us what we'd like to be in the future or what you'd like to pursue. En el futuro, me gustaría ser médica, estudiar en una universidad en Inglaterra y después viajar a través del mundo y ser rica. Let's unpack this one. In the future, I would like to be a doctor, study at a university in England, and afterwards travel the world and be rich. Number 5. ¿Qué profesión te interesa estudiar y por qué? What profession are you interested in studying and why? Me interesa estudiar la medicina porque es mi sueño. It is my dream. También me encantaría ayudar a los enfermos. I would love to help the sick y curar las enfermedades mortales and cure deadly diseases. Bueno, let's put in our accents here before we continue. También, encantaría. Sí. Number 6. ¿Qué asignaturas estudias que te ayudarán en esta profesión? What subjects do you study that will help you in this profession? Very interesting question here. Pues, yo estudio la biología or yo estudio las ciencias. We could also say, well, presently. And to say presently or currently would be the word actualmente. Pues actualmente yo estudio las ciencias que consiste en la biología, la física y la química. Bueno, eso es. ¿Crees que los estudiantes deben asistir a clases durante las vacaciones de verano? ¿Por qué? Do you believe that students should attend classes during the summer holidays, and why? Well, for a question like this, because we want to appear to have wide and varied vocabulary, and I always encourage having at least 3 reasons. For a question like this, it can be hard to find 3 reasons, so my approach would be to take it half and half. Agree and disagree. So that is what we're going to do right now. Pues, en mi opinión, sí y no. Well, in my opinion, yes and no. Although, es importante continuar los estudios, practicar y mejorar. También es necesario relajarse y descansar después de un año largo y estresante. All right, let us unpack this response. Well, in my opinion, yes and no. Although it is important to continue your studies, practice, and improve, it's also necessary to relax and rest after a long and stressful year. I would even add escolar. Después de un año escolar largo y estresante. Escolar is the adjective to say school. So after a long school year. Let's put in our accents, then go on to our final question for this video. I hope we're learning some practical ways to respond to the questions in the school and career category. I hope this is very beneficial for you. If it is, don't forget to hit that like button and that share button. And also, I hope you already subscribed. Thank you so much for the support. Number 8. ¿Qué hacen los jóvenes después de terminar sus estudios en la escuela secundaria? What do young people do after ending or finishing their studies at high school? Normalmente, después de terminar los o sus estudios, ellos, referring to los jóvenes, van de vacaciones, descansan o trabajan durante el verano. Principalmente, ellos presentan una solicitud, como así, para ingresar en la universidad. So normally after finishing their studies, they go on vacation, they rest, or they work during the summer. Mainly, they apply to college. This long phrase right here is how to say apply to college. Presentar una solicitud para ingresar en la universidad. A very important verb to know. So make a note of it. This ends today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next. Adios.